Okay, hi everyone. My name's Matt, and I will be doing a number of videos over the next couple of years with my good friend Mitch. And essentially, we will be talking about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market in general, which certainly over the coming years will see a magnificent rise in use case, but also in value. And that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about analysis, research, and technical trading tools and charts, which can help you give you advice in your own investments, or also just give you more information about the crypto space and about Bitcoin in general. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and I am not telling you to go out and buy anything. However, I can only give you my perspective and my own advice about the market. And so will my friend Mitch. Now, I am a teacher. My background is education, and I'm currently a teacher leader in the school that I'm at, and I'm also studying educational leadership in academic sense and postgraduate degree. I'm also very much a crypto enthusiast, and I have been researching the space probably from the end of the bull market. I was one of the many people who was taken by surprise and certainly caught on to the news and caught on to what was happening. So I'm relatively new to the space, but I've been doing a lot of learning and teaching and classes over the last 12 months. My friend Mitch, who will be doing some videos with me, has certainly been in the space much longer than I have for a number of years, and he originally got into the to the crypto space through his research, and he's into his background is in finance, and he's done a bachelor's and an honors thesis on cryptocurrency, which has been going for the last 3 years. And my background in leadership, education, and in teaching, we are working together to create some content for people to, as I said earlier, to give you more information and our perspective about the market and the macroeconomics of the space in general. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus each video on initially on Bitcoin and what's happening, as it is, as we know, the leader in the market. Whatever happens in the market is generally affected by the movement of Bitcoin. Now that includes all altcoins and all cryptocurrency currencies in the space will be affected by the leader, which is Bitcoin. So we do want to focus on that. We also would like to discuss recent articles and news, the cryptocurrency space in terms of coin market cap, and then we will look at a chart. And we'll do that every video, but we would also like to feature altcoins and be looking at the fundamentals, research, and analysis of altcoins in our videos and discussions. So, but for our first video or second video, my first video was quite short as just an introduction and to see how the YouTube space is going and working. So today is our official video, first video, and what we will do first is look at the recent news in terms of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So headline here, unabashed Bitcoin bull Thomas Lee, or Tom Lee as you might know him, says the market is wrong. In this article by Eddie Van der Walt for Bloomberg, he says it's hard to keep a Bitcoin bull down. Now, to give you a bit of background, Tom Lee, who is the head of research at Fundstrat Global Advisors, originally got into the space a couple of years ago, before the bull run. Now he was working at JP Morgan, and there were some foreign exchange researchers in there looking at cryptocurrency as one method of foreign currency, but also others. And so it was sort of on the back burner when he got into the space, but he has since, with his own company, Fundstrat Global Advisors, been immensely researching Bitcoin as an alternative to fiat and currency. So you may have heard or seen his predictions of rallies by the end of 2018 to reach 25,000. Now that's middle of the bear market. He made that prediction. He's also made predictions of upwards of 100,000, 200,000, $1 million Bitcoin in the future. So you can tell that he is certainly a Bitcoin bull. So a bull, for those people that don't know, is someone who is uh, very positive about the potential of the cryptocurrency. Someone that believes that the value will intrinsically and extrinsically rise over a short term, medium term, or long term. Now, he is obviously a long term bull. Maybe not a short term bull, but a long term bull. However, this article does go on to say that at a price of 3,400, or in this case 3,200, he believes that the Bitcoin's fair value should be between 13 and 15,000, somewhere around that price. Now they show this good graphic here, which gives you an understanding of sort of where the market is and where he believes and his company believe where he believes the value actually is. Bullish forecasters aren't wrong; they just say the market's mispriced. Right, so now we understand that perspective. What do you actually think about that? Do you agree? Is this, an accurate forecast of where the market should be? Do you believe that this is fair value? Because it goes on to say fair value is significantly higher than the current price of Bitcoin. And working backwards to solve for the current price of Bitcoin, that implies crypto wallets should fall to 17 million from 50 million currently. So Bitcoin wallets approach just 7% of Visa's $4.5 billion account holders. Fair value would be 150,000 per Bitcoin according to his model. Now, again, you can take that or leave it. But what I'm seeing here is really immense positivity in the market from people who are saying, or very significant players in the market who are saying, look, this is the fair value of this coin. I see potential in the cryptocurrency space, and he's often known for making these predictions, very eccentric, very sort of exaggerated predictions, because when you actually look at the chart, I have no doubt that the market, I truly believe the market will get nowhere near 13,000. I could be wrong. That's my opinion. But looking at technicals, which we'll do in a moment. But certainly in the long term, I can see his prediction and his model that Fundstrat Global Advisors are sort of promoting. And I can see, when you look at the macroeconomics of the space in terms of where Bitcoin is currently and, the potential that it has in overtaking fiat in the future, or at least giving a run for its money, it certainly does ring true to me, because me as an cryptocurrency enthusiast, as an investor, as someone that is interested in the space and interested in the markets and believes in the technology of these altcoins and in Bitcoin in general, there's certainly, in terms of a long-term perspective, there's some merit. In the short term, though, I would say that this is probably inaccurate, looking at where the market is. So if we look at now CoinMarketCap, which is my favorite website to look at the current state of the market, and you can see in terms of 24 hours, our biggest movers, Bitcoin Diamond, Waves, Polymath, Walton Chain, just under 10%. And if you look at our biggest movers in the opposite direction, Dentracoin, ZeroX, Decentraland, Monero, all within that 10% above or below sort of range. And our top 20 coins, we will be doing some videos on the top 20 coins in the market, and also looking at other coins that have potential use cases, and are essentially a good investment, in my opinion. That isn't me saying you need to go out and buy it. I'm not a financial advisor. However, I do see intrinsic value in those coins. So we'll be talking about in coming videos some of those projects, certainly. And just to note too, that 24-hour volume is quite low at 11 million, and the overall market cap at 100 billion roughly, which is about, quite a long way from the $800 billion market cap we saw at the end of 2017. Absolutely demolished. But, all is not lost, because when you look at the charts, which we'll do in a moment, you can see that it is a great opportunity. Okay, here we go. So let's firstly, it's always good to look at the monthly chart first, and my lines are a bit wonky here, but that's okay. Okay, so you can see at the moment we're at $3,203.27 on the Coinbase chart, and our data goes back to 1st of December 2014, and we saw this massive red candle, capitulation candle, where the price drops rapidly down, to about $100, bounce right back up to $200, $300, and from there we saw a sort of consolidation period, bit of a rise and a meteoric rise from about, after this red candle, from about October 2015, with some retracements, but generally holding support along that exponential moving average, which is very important. Now, this is very important here. What serves as a key resistance point of psychological 3000 is now, or could be, acting as a support for our monthly candle. Just for that, everyone. Had a small interruption to the video. Battery died, but we're all good to go. So what was I saying? I was saying that this red candle looks like it's about to form support here on the big resistance point, which is psychological 3000. However, we could in fact see from that point, a capitulation candle, but then we could see very quickly a recovery. And where do I see that happening? You need to look at the weekly chart for that. And for those people that may not necessarily be understanding charts, technical analysis, and trading, a couple of very quick tips is that these candles on the weekly chart represent 1 week. And the more that you zoom in, each of those time stamps represent either a month, week, day, 4 hour, etc., candle. So each candle represents 1 day, or each candle represents a 4-hour period. The reason I like to look at the weekly is because it gives you more perspective when you zoom out. And you can see here with these, what we call oscillators, and our oscillators are indicators that give you more information about that go beyond just the price. And so obviously these candles represent the movement of the price in that week or day. Now these oscillators represent how the overall market is doing in that currency. In this case, we're looking at Bitcoin on the Coinbase chart. And this one in particular, I do read and look at a lot, which is the stochastic RSI. And the stochastic RSI gives you an indicator of momentum. So you can see from this point on, we've seen the downwards momentum on the weekly chart. Have a look. $8,000, massive drop to 3,000. So you can say that stochastic RSI is important. Now, even the creator of the stochastic RSI says, now when we get below the 20 line, that officially signals that we're heading down. And when we move up, doesn't matter what happens in between here, it's what happens when we move below the 20 line or above the 80 line. Anything in between here doesn't tell you anything. It just might say in the short term where the price is heading, but if it moves below, usually we see more of a rapid or more volatile movement, and the same above the 80. So you can see once we got this drop from about 6,000 down to 3,000, the price dropped and halved. Okay, you can see how really this momentum indicator comes in handy. You can also see on the MACD. And the MACD is a lagging oscillator or indicator which shows you momentum and has a histogram that shows you, how strong to the upside or downside the price is going to move. You can see here at the moment, the histogram had a massive move on the weekly chart, and then we saw a small move up and then a drop. Now the MACD is a good indicator, also the RSI, which gives you an indicator of how oversold or overbought the market is. And if we're in the 80 region or below the 20 region on the stochastic RSI, we're oversold or we're overbought. At the moment we're oversold because we've dropped, but we're still moving. We have potential to move down. And this is what we're saying, this is a strong support. And another thing to mention is it's strong support along the 200-day moving average, which has always bounced up from the 200-day moving average. In this case, we've bounced up a little bit, and we're heading back down to the 200-day moving average, which is about 3,100. But we could even see, if we go into the daily, could even see a stronger move to the downside. We're back in business, and look, I think what I'm saying here is that there's possibility for the price to move lower, and I think that if we look at the 1-day chart, we can see that there's a support here, but if we go to even just a small bounce, we may just trend back lower, down to 2,007, 2,800, a little bit below that moving average, and then have a big move to the upside, maybe not 10,000, but maybe, somewhere in the range of 4,500, 5,000, etc. Because when you look at the weekly, okay, and you zoom in, which we're doing, you can see that the exponential moving average, which is coming down, it could meet at about that level, 4,500. It also could meet, sort of on the upside a little bit more around 5,000. So let's just see where we go from here. Now, if we hold support or we drop down even further to 2,500, that's possible, because where the price is at the moment is very weak, 3,000. But this is just an overall picture of the Bitcoin chart, because Bitcoin is the leader of the market, and we need to keep an eye on the charts, especially in this environment where it's very weak, but there is also a lot of opportunity. We've got to keep that in mind. So for that, we'll end the video there, but we'll be looking at future projects, as we said earlier, in coming videos. Okay, thank you everyone. Goodbye.